GregTech New Horizons, the grindiest and most time-consuming quest-based mod pack for Minecraft. A pack where you spend hundreds of hours gathering resources, optimizing, and crafting components to get the Stargate, a structure with a ridiculous recipe that makes most players go insane. But what if you took the challenge of getting Stargate and you made it harder? Is that even possible? How do you make the grindiest mod pack worse? Well, to do that, you impose a set of rules on the run that make each tier of GregTech worse and make you meticulously plan and think about what lies ahead. Some of the added rules are as follows. We'll finish every quest in the GregTech tier section before we move on. The other quest pages will be completed as soon as the ability to finish them are open. Some quests require higher tiers of GregTech, like on the multi-block goals, so when we get to those tiers, then we'll finish those quests. We will passive or attempt to passive every resource/final product in each GregTech tier. If you look at the LV page, you can see the gallium arsenide crystal. While in the LV stage, it's harder to fully passive this, but what we can do is set up a dedicated line that, provided with the correct materials, will make the end product passively and without manual interference by the player. Next, before we move on to a new power tier, every setup that exists in the base will have to be upgraded. That includes both passive and manual machines, so no LV setups when we're trying to reach HV. The next three are probably what I consider to be the hardest. We can only use superconductors for cable in each tier. LV doesn't have a superconductor, so we'll be using its lossless. This will force us to get creative in routing power around the base. As early game, this will be incredibly difficult. MV superconductors are not cheap. We're also taking expansion and scaling to the limits in this run. While many people may only build one EBF in LV, we'll build 8 or even more in higher tiers for appropriate scaling needs. We're going to be testing the limits of GTNH. We might as well test the limits of our sanity and force us to gather resources far beyond what is normally required in each tier. In addition to this, we cannot upgrade one multi or one manual/auto crafting setup at a time. If we have 8 EBFs running cupronickel coils and we want to move to Canthal coils, we will have to upgrade all 8 at once. There's no skipping out on upgrades. With EBFs and multis and passive setups, they'll get upgraded over time, but do not have to be at the same point as the ones that are used differently. As mentioned earlier though, all machines, all multis, will have to be upgraded to the max power tier possible before moving on. In addition to all this, we will also be including the Twist Space add-on mod for GregTech New Horizons. Made by the Chinese GregTech community, this mod holds some of the most insane multi-blocks that make endgame more fun and more entertaining to go through. While base GTNH is already going to be a challenge, I thought that adding multi-blocks that can do the same as 100 of the multi-blocks it replaces will not only be rewarding, but will help with server lag in the long run. This run, nicknamed the Hive run, is not going to be for the faint of heart. It's almost certainly going to be draining mentally, but I'm very excited to get started. I will be streaming the run, along with many other creators over on Twitch. My link will be down in the description. But there may be an opportunity for some of you to join us as well. Join my Discord, locate the GTNH Optimization Run channel, and apply via the Google Docs included. We'll be looking at and accepting people about 1 week into the run. We're starting on March 2nd, 2024, my 26th birthday. Do you have what it takes to achieve GregTech glory? Are you up for the challenge?